You cannot have any contact with Orthodox Jews and fail to notice their obsession with tiny, itsy-bitsy little detail. That's not too strong a word. Does anyone know what time Shabbos started this week? It's going to come out to be like 6:31 and 18 seconds on this side of Har Nof. On the other side, it's like 19 seconds. Did you figure out that these Orthodox Jews put on their right shoe before their left shoe? And they tie their left shoe before their right shoe, except if you're a girl, in which case there's two different approaches. When they cut their fingernails, there's an order for cutting their fingernails, yeah? This finger, 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 this finger. And on certain days, it's better. And that is what you'll find in any Jewish law that you investigate. They are all incredibly detail-oriented. You can't help but think they lost it someplace. Do you think that's really what God cares about? I've been doing couple counseling for about 30 years. I've never once had a couple come to me whose relationship was in trouble because they disagreed over some major issue. I'm a liberal, she's a conservative, I want out! Statistically, those sorts of instances are minuscule. The vast majority of people who come to me have relationships that are breaking up over things that are so small, so picky-uni, that if you heard about it, you would say, these people are not well. Now, of course, they always say it represents something bigger, but the reality is it's tiny things. All relationships crash or skyrocket based on attention to tiny, itsy-bitsy little details. I've found this consistently over hundreds of couples, and I will tell you why. If somebody notices the big things, that doesn't mean that they actually care about the other person. Because how can you miss the big things? If I remember it's our 31st anniversary, that doesn't mean that I'm in love with Chana. Because how can you miss the 31st anniversary? It's an elephant in the middle of the room. But if I remember that 31 years ago, last week, I met her for the first time. And I remember when I said, where do you want to go? She said, let's go for fish. And I remember at the restaurant, when the waiter brought the menu, she said, no, I don't need to look at it, I'll take salmon. And I remember that night she told me she doesn't like chocolate, she likes carob. And I remember that night she told me that she loves flowers, and her favorite flower are roses, but not red roses. She likes yellow roses, and she likes a lot of that white poof stuff that they put in the top, and she likes a lavender ribbon. And on my 31st anniversary, when we go out, we sit down, the mater doesn't bring the menus. He just right away brought the salmon. And then he came back a few minutes later with the 31 yellow roses, with a lot of the white poof stuff and a lavender ribbon. If I do that, that means I love her. Because otherwise, why would I have remembered the lavender ribbon?